Hi guys, so today we are doing a subscriber body typing and color typing. So as you guys know, these photos are submitted through the photo submission portal. They are not client photos. Client photos are always private. These photos are photos that this lady let me use in my video so that we can chat about her body type and color type. So if you are interested in seeing more videos like this, I do have videos for club members only through club, and I'll leave a link to that down below. And if you're still confused about your body type and color type, I'll leave some links to videos down below, and I also offer typing through my website that I'll leave a link to down below. Okay, let's get into it. So here is our first photo, and right away, I hope you guys see what I see. We're seeing a lot of sharp angles. We're seeing some sharpness to the nose, and the nose is relatively narrow and has clean lines. The cheekbones are high and sharp, and the jawline is relatively sharp as well. So I'm seeing sharpened for this lady. And her cheeks are also pretty firm, so you can see the bone structure pretty clearly through her physique and through her cheeks. So that's why it's called, sharpened taut, right? So sharpened means that you have a sharpened bone structure, and taut or firm means that you have a firm or taut physique on top of that bone structure that allows for the angles of your bone structure to show through more clearly. So that is basically the analog of the dramatic body type in the Kibbe system. So I would say she is most likely dramatic, or she is most likely sharpened. From this photo alone, I would say that her skin undertone is most likely cool toned, maybe cool and delicate. I like that blue top on her, and her hair color is also relatively cool and muted, and I think that's really flattering on her. Her eyes look cool. And her skin tone is very light, and it is difficult to tell with lighter skin tones because there is less pigment in general, so there is less of every color. So to tell which color dominance you have when, if you have a blue dominance, so you're cool, or you have a yellow dominance, so you're warm, to tell which color dominance you have when there is so little pigment is challenging. So sometimes we might need more photos. So of course, you guys, this isn't sort of an official typing or anything like that. I think I would have to do sort of I would have to probably have more photos to do a definitive typing. But I would say that she looks cool and delicate from this photo, and like she is sharpened firm or sharpened taut. They're kind of the same thing. So here we can see that she has a relatively long vertical line. She looks a bit tall, and she has long lines to her overall. So this is pretty consistent with sharpened. And I would also say that she has a taut physique. So like the flesh on her arms is pretty taut and firm. It's not sort of soft or doughy, that type of soft physique. So that's why I would put her into taut or firm and not soft or moderate. And her cheeks are also pretty taut and firm. So what happens here is that the physique is going to be on top of the bone structure and let the angles of the bone structure show through more clearly. Maybe the sharper shoulders show through, and so that's what makes her sharpened taut. The thing is that, people can get confused because not every sharpened type has a straight up and down figure, okay? So with her, she has a pretty moderate figure. She doesn't have a straight figure. She has a moderate figure, right? So that can be confusing for people. She might consider maybe she's beveled, maybe she is sharpened soft, maybe she can consider sharpened soft, but I wouldn't consider sharpened soft because to me it's all about, it's like 90%, there's always exceptions, but it's 90% about that physique and features, because if you think about it, the lines of the body are determined by the bone structure in body geometry, primarily the bone structure, because it's the bone structure that's going to shape the physique that is lying on top of the bones, right? So if you have rounded bones, no amount of physique is going to make your cheekbones sharp, for example, if you have rounded cheekbones. But if you have sharp cheekbones, you might actually look soft if you have soft cheeks on top of them, if that makes sense. So the thing with physique is that it's really going to be the stuff that's over the bone structure. So some people might have maybe a moderate sort of waist and bust line and hip line, but that is not really on top of the bone structure in the same way that, you know, your arms, you know, the physique and the flesh on your arms is, you know, because that's going to sort of show the angles very clearly, and it's going to give you a different look. It's going to give you a firm look. For example, you know, a little bit off subject, but Jennifer Love Hewitt is firm, okay? And if you compare her to Jenna Coleman is soft. So if you want to do your own research on this, compare those two ladies and see if you can tell the difference. Jennifer Love Hewitt is really curvy, but her physique is firm and her cheeks are taut. So there is a big difference there. So the whole thing is that it's the physique that's the most important, because it's going to be the stuff that's on top of the bone structure. If you have full lips, for example, or if you have a shapely bust line, it's not going to make your cheekbones or your shoulders look less sharp, right? So that's why 9 times out of 10, physique is the most important thing, and cheeks. So that's why, you know, I think if you think of it that way, it's going to make things a lot less confusing for a lot of people, because I get this question a lot, is, you know, I'm curvy, but, you know, I don't feel like sharp and soft fits me maybe, right? So it might be your physique and it might be your cheeks being taut. So I would say she is sharpened firm or sharpened taut. And here she does look, you know, I think it's the lighting, because you can see sometimes the sun, and then we have like the beige wall together and everything like that. Here she looks warm toned. I'm gonna sort of wait to say sort of what I think, if she's warm or cool, until I see more photos. Okay, so in this photo, I would say that now I'm leaning more toward warm and delicate for her, simply because I like the lighting in this photo now. You know, it is more difficult, like I said, with lighter skin tones to discern, because there's less pigment in general. But here I'm seeing more warm and delicate, and I'm more of a fan of the lighting here. And, you know, the lighting in the first photo was a tiny bit washed out, so I could see why maybe she could look cool and delicate there. And then the lighting in the second photo was really warm, if you guys remember that. So this photo looks like it has more neutral lighting. I would say that she looks warm and delicate, and for her bone structure, it's the same sort of thing. We can see that she has those really chiseled, sort of sharp cheekbones and the really clean angles. You know, they aren't sort of irregular angles, they're very clean angles and clean lines to her face overall, to her bone structure overall. Her shoulders are a bit sharp, you know, so we have that sharpened bone structure. Okay, so here I would say that she also looks sharpened. I really like the asymmetrical hair, you know, and the very sleek hair look. And the ensemble look, so just wearing colors that are working together, is also really flattering for sharpened. And the teal color I think looks really nice against her skin tone. And the thing with the teal, like of the skirt, is that it does look really beautiful against warm and delicate. And in this photo I'm seeing warm and delicate again for her. So for her, I would recommend colors that are a bit deeper than her coloring calls for, because she's sharpened, and also those rich earth tones, like warm and or kind of like muted dusty earth tones would work well, as well as sometimes sharpened, you know, because of those streamline angles, right? Just looks so good in pure black, looks so good in clear navy or muted navy. So cool and delicate colors that are darker, like charcoal grays, will also look really beautiful on her. And yeah, like dark teals, dark warm purples. Oh, plum, like the color eggplant or plum, is gonna look really good. And of course dark olive green and dark warm burgundy are going to look really good on her. Those are the true warm and delicate colors. And I would say she is pretty high contrast actually, because her hair is quite dark and her skin is pretty light. So I would say she's high contrast. And yeah, so I went over the colors that I would recommend, and that has to do with her body type too. So oftentimes, you know, the body type and the color type kind of have to come together to an agreement you know, and that is one way to do it, is if you're warm and delicate and you are sharpened, then you can include some of those darker sort of warm cool colors, so to speak, like warm purples and teals and stuff like that. And you can do some cool and delicate colors too that are darker. Okay, so this is a really interesting photo. I love these kinds of comparison photos of different outfits. I think everybody just loves them. It's really fun to take a look at. So, okay, so she still looks warm and delicate to me now. In the photo on the left, she might look kind of cool and delicate, and I like the lighting on the photo and on the left. So I still think my color recommendations from the previous photo stand, you know, because let's say dark, cool, and delicate colors, plums, right, and warm purples, navy, those are all going to look really good on cool and delicate too. Those are more like sharpened color recommendations, if that makes sense anyway. So, but you know, they're gonna look good on warm and delicate, they're gonna look good on cool and delicate. So either way, those color recommendations, if you're watching this, they do still stand. So I think those are good. And you can see I like that navy on you, on the left. And I like black on you too. I think that looks really good. Okay, so let's talk about the outfits. So for the outfits on the left, we have primarily sharpened soft. And on the right, can you guys guess? We have primarily a mixture between mixed and sharpened. So mixed is the closest type, if you're totally new here, the closest type in Kibbe is gamine, okay? So we have some gamine elements and what I would call gamine elements and what I would call dramatic elements, right? So let's go over on the right, the sharpened elements and the mixed elements. So the sharpened elements are the long lines, so we have the same color top and bottom, and we have some sharper shoulders, and we have a minimal look and an ensemble look, and we have a bigger bag, and we also have a sleek haircut, and I believe that those earrings are also geometric. And then at the same time, we have some mixed elements, and the mixed elements are, you know, the effect of the contrasting neckline because of the tie. So the high neckline is a mixed element, yes, but in this case, I wouldn't call her high neckline like, oh, this is such a mixed element, because it's close in color. It's not this contrasting color with her skin, you know. Her skin is light, the shirt is light, so it just doesn't have that contrasting effect. It's actually the tie that creates the higher neckline look, because the tie is actually very close to, you know, to the collar of the shirt, right? So the tie creates kind of a high neckline look there, so that's a mixed element. And the pants are really fitted, you know, which I think is flattering, but that's another mixed element. So I think this is a really good professional look, you know, where it's like you really look put together, you look tall, you look like you are just really chic and put together. So, you know, when sharpened wears mixed in the right context and the right look, that can really take their just some elements of mixed, right? You don't want to wear things, so many elements of mixed, so that they look disconnected from you. But in this look, I think she did it just right, in that, you know, she has some of those elements, but they aren't so much, and she still is maintaining the most important things, which are her long lines and her sharp angles. You know, she doesn't have, and she has that minimal detailing. She doesn't have like a pattern, like an animated pattern or anything like that. So she just threw in a little bit of those mixed elements. And so that is going to make the look sort of come together in the professional sense, because it's going to make her look taller, right? And that can look sort of really, people sometimes like that in a professional setting. I don't know why, but I think it looks really professional. Okay, so on the left, we have sharpened soft, okay? So sharpened soft can look pretty good on sharpened. The thing with sharpened soft on sharpened is that, you know, with her, she doesn't, at the end of the day, like, yes, she has sharp angles, right? But she doesn't have Keira Knightley sharp angles. Like, I don't think anybody has Keira Knightley sharp angles. I think she's the top 1% of the sharp angles, you know, Keira Knightley, maybe Tilda Swinton too. But at the end of the day, this lady is still sharpened, okay? So the thing here is that sharpened soft and sharpened have a lot in common. They have the sharpened bone structure. So they can share outfits. And here, you know, she isn't actually wearing that many elements of sharpened soft. Like, she isn't wearing a ton of lace. She isn't wearing like really frilly like things that are maybe very, very lightweight fabrics like chiffon or bright colors. So she's kind of incorporating some sharpened soft elements, but she still has some sharpened elements too, some sharpened taut elements. So if you guys remember, again, sharpened soft is the closest is soft dramatic. So yeah. But the sharpened taut elements, right, are going to be the darker colors. Like, she has the dark color to the top and the bottom, which gives that long vertical line. And you know, that hairstyle is also kind of in the middle, right? It's not this super glamorous Sophia Loren hairstyle, but it is kind of like a bit more of an updo than on the right. And then we also have the makeup where she does have the eye emphasis. She has a bit of lip emphasis, and Sharp and Soft looks really good with sort of bright colors, you know, but also defined eyes and maybe a bright lip because of the softness to the physique and features. And here she is sort of doing this like slightly bright lip. So it looks bright on her, but it's actually not that bright of a color. So it looks just right on her. If she wants to do a bright lip, this is sort of the color that she could go for. And always going for, you know, for sharpened, you want to go for eyes that are more intense in intensity than the lip color. So you want to be having the focus on the eyes and then the lip color being sort of secondary. So she does have some eye makeup on there that balances the look too. And the earrings, they are again kind of in the middle, right? They aren't necessarily sharpened because they are not geometric, but they aren't sharp and soft either, because it's not like they're this, you know, really like this costume jewelry that's really sparkly or anything like that. So this is sort of like on the left how sharpened can do a sharpened soft look. Do you see what I mean? Where it's like you don't add too many elements of sharpened soft, but you add enough, but it still doesn't look disconnected from you. So this is, if you're sharpened and you want to sort of channel sharpened soft a little bit, this would be a really nice look, you know, to take inspiration from. Okay, so here we have her wearing elements of mixed as well as sharpened. So the elements of sharpened are the longer lines of the top and the longer sleeves, which are really flattering on her. The clean lines, the asymmetrical neckline is also a sharpened element, and her hair, you know, parted asymmetrically and having a pretty sort of geometric outline to it is a little bit of a sharpened influence there too. At the same time, the fabric being crisp is actually a mixed element, okay? So the fabric having that sort of crisp, lightweight feel is more like a mixed element, and that's something that I feel like doesn't really, I mean, I guess I don't talk about it enough, you know, that crisp fabric is very much a mixed thing. And at the same time, sleek fabric or stiff, thick fabric is for sharpened. So for sharpened, what you want is for fabric to fall cleanly in clean lines, not to be crisp and stand kind of crisply, if that makes sense. So that is, but overall, this is primarily a sharpened look, you know. But I just thought I would mention the fabric in case anyone is curious, you know, that the crispness of the fabric gives it that kind of lightweight feel, right? If you think about crisp cotton, maybe like really thin crisp cotton, it's very lightweight, and that's kind of mixed. Mixed has those lightweight lines. And the color blocking here, there is a color blocking, but I'm totally fine with it because, you know, you're not going to always wear the same exact color top and bottom, okay? It's just never going to really happen. And I think that this works nicely together because the blue stripes match with the blue pants or jeans. I think they're jeans, yeah. So they match, and so that creates an ensemble look, a head to toe look, right? That works really well for sharpened. So I think overall I like this on her. You know, I think it works really well. And the asymmetrical tie to the waist is also another sharpened element, and you can see that long line of the belt that falls all the way almost close to her knee, that creates another long line, which is really nice on sharpened. So that's another way to create a long line. There are so many ways to create a long line, and you know, asymmetry is also something that kind of pulls the eye down, and that's for people with longer lines. So asymmetry, especially at the neckline, is something that really only beveled firm, you know, the closest is flamboyant natural or sharpened moderate can really do super well, because asymmetry just pulls the eye down whichever way, you know, the asymmetry is going, and very few bone structures have that ability to hold that asymmetry. So if you are one of those rare bone structure types then that can hold asymmetry, then I would recommend that you do it, because it's really something that not a lot of people can pull off. And for her coloring, now I'm leaning toward warm and delicate with this one. I would really want more photos. What I would suspect is that you are so close to neutral that, you know, the color recommendations that I just gave in, you know, earlier in the video are just going to work perfectly for you. And oftentimes if you're this close to neutral, even something like, you know, sometimes even a warm burgundy can be too warm, even if you're technically warm and delicate. If you get a warm burgundy that's too rich, it can sometimes look way too rich on you. So sometimes people who are so close to neutral, they just kind of borrow, and they're warm and delicate, not cool. So warm and delicate who's close to neutral can borrow from cool and delicate, because when warm and delicate wears cool, they just look more golden. But cool and delicate doesn't have that luxury, because cool and delicate, when they wear warm, they look more gray, okay? So this is only because you are most likely warm and delicate, and you're most likely just so close to neutral that you can really borrow from those cool and delicate colors. And a lot of warm and delicate people get typed in other systems as cool, okay? So because they can wear cool colors, and a lot of warm colors are too warm for them, so sometimes warm and delicate can sort of go, you know, their whole life thinking that they're cool, and that's because your skin tone is really forgiving. So, you know, you can wear cool colors, and at the end of the day, if it looks good on you, then that's really what matters. Yeah, so that's our last picture. So that is it, you guys. That's all I have to say for this video. I hope you enjoyed this. And of course, these are not client photos. These are photos that were submitted by one of you guys, one of the people who watches my channel, and submitted her photos through the photo submission portal. So let's all say thank you to her for letting me use her photos in this video so that we can chat about her color type and body type. And if you are still confused about your color body type, I offer typing through my website, and I'll leave some links down below to that. And if you like these kinds of videos, then there are also exclusive videos that are similar to this on Club, where you can submit your photos for Club only videos, and so it's a bit more of a private community there. Okay, so leave me some comments, and I hope you enjoyed it. Okay,